Welcome back, dear viewers, and today we have with us Engineer Ahmed Alromaidheen, an astronomer and aerospace engineer. Engineer Ahmed, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to Hala Kuwait.
Good evening, thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So we would like to please highlight your educational background and tell us all about your career, please.
All right, we will start with the credibility question. Yes, I'm an aerospace engineer. Mechanical engineer, emphasis on aerospace. I got this degree in California State University, Northridge. I was first an astronomer here in Kuwait, and then continued to make it an academic one to get a bachelor in it. However, because of the education system, I had to transfer into engineering, which is actually better because it's an astronomer and applied engineer, applied personnel in academic world. So. Yeah, and I did that, and it served me really well.
All right, that's pretty cool, bringing all your experience all the way from California back here to Kuwait so we can benefit from all your insights, Engineer Ahmed. So we would like to know more about astronomy, and in brief, would you explain astronomy to us and our dear viewers?
Astronomy is the natural science of the celestial object, anything in the sky. Again, that's the moon, the sun, the planets, the stars, all the phenomena that happen in the sky, and it broadened to be the Earth and connected to other natural science. It's always interconnected. Like it can connect to chemistry, of course, chemistry of the planets, the Earth, the stars. Can connect to mechanical when we make our technology to use it to study astronomy and influence other department of science, math, art,
yes,
psychology, biology. So yes, astronomy in the ancient time was so important up until now because of navigation. It's a good way to keep track of time too. So for calendar use. And it's always been like this. Like here in our society, we've been always known for being a good navigator in the sea and even in the desert. So
yes,
astronomy is important for us.
Right, definitely it is. And also you mentioned in the ancient times, it comes with art, sciences, and also religion, right?
That is true, religion. And that's, if we want to talk about why astronomy is important to our culture, because of our religion. There's no verse in Quran almost without mentioning something about the sky, about the stars. And our calendar, the lunar calendar, is based on the moon phases. So astronomy is very important even in our culture, in a religion sense, or just our way of life. I'm talking about the local region. And even all type of people around the world, their religion also has something to do with astronomy. It's just an influential thing for everything. Definitely
it is, and I would like to ask you this off topic. As we mentioned, I mentioned to you this off air, the Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, had a dream or a vision that the sun and the moon and the stars were prostrating to him, and when that happened, it was his father, his mother, and his brothers prostrating. So what do you think about this vision that he has?
That's a very interesting vision. Of course, I mean, it's a story in the Quran. It has to be an interesting story. I like the emphasis on how the parents were the moon and the sun, and the brothers, his siblings, were the stars. I want to see this in terms of like our knowledge in the celestial object. Even if this, like the sun is the star, the moon is way smaller than the sun, but they are the most influential two celestial objects that are closer to Earth.
All right.
So it doesn't matter how strong or big they are the most influential and affect you. So yes, your parents are the most of the time. Your parents or whoever take that role to be your parents are the most influential in your life. Just like the moon and the sun is the biggest two influential on Earth. The stars, even if they were bigger than the sun, hotter, stronger, whatever it is, they're far away. So even if your siblings are better than your parents in money, economy, knowledge, even communication, they're still further away from you. So I like the analogy in that story with our current understanding in human relations.
That's a very good explanation there, Engineer Ahmed. And moving back to astronomy, as you mentioned, here in Kuwait, we have a great landscape for astronomy and new people trying to seek astronomy. As you know, in our deserts, we have a big landscape. You can take a look at the beautiful stars in the night. Where do you recommend people go to get a good vision of the stars?
All right, let me elaborate on that. Yes, you're right. We have good landscape. We don't have mountains. We don't have forests. We don't have anything that obstacle the view. So we have, like, it's flat land, so you can see the entire sky almost, like 180 degree, if like from the east to the west or from north to the south. It's just 180 degree, the whole dome. And the problem would be light pollution, but we can talk about that in later questions.
Yes.
But it is something we need to get advantage of, and we do. And I'm so happy to see that a lot of people here, travel agency or even group of people who wants to make business about entertainment and how to use your time, like hiking groups or camping groups, or even just, you know, an outing. There's almost in every month a group of people do that. And I like this. They see the meteor shower, the super moons, the moons, like any celestial event happen. I can see it in social media and in the news, any publication, that there's a need and demand for this, and people are providing it. And I'm very happy to see this. And so yes, we live in a place where we can actually get advantage of this, and people are doing that. And that's just not exclusive to Kuwait. That's even the local countries around us. They have almost the same landscapes and even darker night because their borders are bigger, so they can be a little further than the city, so the light pollution will not be a problem. So yeah, I'm very happy to see that.
All right, and definitely, Engineer Ahmed, we are happy also to see the local community engaging with the stars and the moon. As you said, I think before 2 months we witnessed the blood moon here in Kuwait, and it was so beautiful.
Right.
Everybody took pictures.
Yes, that's a beautiful naming. Usually, like in every year, the Royal Astronomy, I think that's an institution in England, the United Kingdom, and the American and the international community, they agree on 12 names. They name it in every month for the moons, like few months ahead of the year. Usually, like an example, if a full moon happens nearly every 27, 29 days, so and the month can be 31. Like January or December, you know, some months are 31. So sometimes it happens that we have 2 full moons. So they call the other moon a blue moon. That's why you hear in Western culture, they say like once in a blue moon, because like that's something rarely happen. And usually that's like, statistically that happens every other year. That the calendar aligned where the blue moon happened at the very end of the month because it happened in the first of the month. And you said blood moon. That's one of them. There's harvest moon, there's wolf moon, and you know, it depends on the season, the season, the color, where it is in the normal calendar that we use, like how the lunar calendar aligned with the solar calendar. And I always love hearing, like naming the new moon, the new names for the moon each year.
That's some beautiful insights for me and our dear viewers for sure. And so, Engineer Ahmed, we'd like to know the astronomy part, and when social people are actually engaging in watching stars and things like that, how does it affect them in their mental health or their personality?
That's a good question. The pursuit of astronomy or any science that makes you feel like you're, not in a bad way, in a good way, insignificant. You feel like it gives you a good perspective that the whole world is big. There's something bigger than you are. And that's a humbling experience. I always say that. That's a humbling experience, and a good way for reflection, to look back at yourself and have to straighten your thoughts. It's better than overthinking about bad things or relations or problems that you have. So when you have something that's positive and something can enrich you and make use of it in a good way, affect you in a good way, it can influence other people in a good way. I think that's a really good way of spending time. So yes, the perspective that you can gain from watching the stars, it's really good, and it gives you it teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to respect time. It teaches you how to be confident with predicting things, and also like predicting, like it makes you seek knowledge, and then when you get that knowledge, and then you work it out, you do the math, you actually see it work. It gives you confidence, and also humbling in another way, because you're insignificant and small compared to the whole world. And there's always unpredictability in things, like the weather. Some event might not happen the way you predict them. And that's actually a good chance when something goes wrong, that you look at the problem and see why it is like that, makes you to understand it. And when you understand after having this problem, your knowledge will be bigger, and you can use your new knowledge in something that beneficial.
Definitely, and as you mentioned, people will appreciate the creation of Allah Almighty's creation of the stars and the expansion of space. So, Engineer Ahmed, what do you think about people who say Earth is flat?
All right, I respect all opinions, all right, but we have enough evidence to show that the Earth is not flat. Many agencies, many countries, many entities proved. Okay, if they say they say like they fake the photos, you cannot, like people cannot all continue lying and keep a lie. Okay. You know the saying would say like, what is the thing that if you put a lot of security or protector, the more you put it, the easier for the thing to be stolen? That's a secret. So there's no way all those people are hiding a secret that says that the Earth is flat. And also, again, when you practice astronomy or any natural science, you work your mind, and you can actually use the tools that you learn to prove that no, Earth is round. Like, for example, it doesn't even have to be like the stars. Like if you actually observe the eclipses, lunar or solar, there's a math in it that will prove to you that the Earth is round. If you look at the shore and then you look at the ships, how they just disappear after a while, you know that the Earth is round. Right. If you are someone who's practicing radio, communication, and any form of technology that needs communication, you would know that Earth has to be round for the communication to occur. Okay. So there's a lot of proof against the argument, and it's a beautiful romantic idea that Earth is flat and all that, but I rather to be it as entertaining fiction than fact.
All right. Well, dear viewers, stay tuned, because we're going to go on a break and watch this report, and definitely we'll come back for more questions for our engineer here. So stay tuned, please. Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are still joined by Engineer Ahmed Alromaidheen, an astronomer and aerospace engineer. So, Engineer Ahmed, would love to talk about your personal projects and how it influenced you to follow astronomy at the engineer level.
Yes. So I want to, so basically we're going to talk about my personal engineering project that I did in my, in my private effort. I think the most significant one would be, like I did a few of them, the most significant one would be like sending a camera to the edge of space. I did this in college. It wasn't part of college. It was just, my own thing. And the challenge was how to use everyday objects that doesn't cost, like the budget was like less than $300, so that's like less than 100 KD. Okay. And be able to take a photograph of the blackness of space and showing Earth and the curvature of Earth, just to show that you reach the height that can be called the edge of space. And that happened, it was very rewarding, because I had to use all my passion, all my knowledge, and the engineering that I was doing. I was working in a senior project that year, but I did this like on the side. And in order for it to succeed, I had to actually study the weather pattern. I had to study for 6 months. And I had to find a way to make sure that when I send the camera, it's connected to an electronic circuit that I made to make sure that it will match the needs that I need with minimum weight. So, so the box that I made can reach the edge of space, and also because it goes so up in the atmosphere, the temperature become below 20 or even less, and so you have to make sure that everything work in a certain temperature. So I even use the those heating pads, that the one that you break and then you put them in your pocket when you travel in an icy land or something. I actually use those to put them in the box to make sure that the circuit will go on. That was in 2011, early 2011, April 2011, but I was working on the thing since 2010. And back then, smartphones were in 2007, but they were very expensive and not that accessible, so you wouldn't put your smartphone there. So you have to do all that. Again, like I said, it has to be less than $300. So use the normal point and shoot camera. I actually took the source code in it and then programmed it to be using the internet, like people will help. So I had to code it to my need to make sure that it will take images by itself. There were no apps or anything. You have to write that thing.
Engineer, sorry, how did you get your phone up in the air? Did you use balloons?
It wasn't phone. It was a point and shoot camera. We don't have a lot of those right now. They call them retro. But back then, that was the thing. You actually buy a point and shoot camera. Now your phone can do way much better than that. So I made the camera, put the electric circuits that I combined, did the code on it, made the whole box, made sure that all the material in the box will withstand the different temperatures, studied the weather so I know where is it going to go, and I tethered it to a weather balloon. Okay. The weather balloon basically is the thing, and you have to find like how much helium you should put it, how much weight you're using, and also like even when you are handling the stuff, even when you're handling the balloon, you have to use double gloves to make sure that even the oil on your hand doesn't touch the balloon, because once it goes up and the temperature becomes so cold, that oil can become a needle and actually make the balloon burst before it reach the intended altitude. So all of that happened, and predicted the weather pattern, put a GPS chip in the circuits, and then send signals to a location where it can point out the location, point out to the internet. And back then we didn't even have internet were there, but it wasn't as accessible. So I actually had to call my friends and tell them, "Can you give me the coordinate?" All right. And that's what happened. And then there's a lot of boundaries and problems. Like after 60,000 feet, which the balloon will go above that, GPS will stop working. It's for security reason. So I actually predicted where it's going to land, and then drove there. It was more than 70 miles, more than 100 kilometers. It was somewhere between San Francisco and Los Angeles, because that was the most flat lands I can get there, and the weather can be predicted better. So I chose the day, a location, launched it there. It was like my own space program, That's cool. And predicted where it's gonna land. It actually landed very near where I thought it would be. So once it landed and become less than 60,000 feet, it starts sending the GPS signal again. And I was only like 20 minutes away from where it landed. So just drove there. It landed in a farm, open farm, and just grabbed it. And then I think I took a picture. I don't know if they're gonna post it, but yeah. And then it was just like, it was the most amazing thing. So I hope this story will encourage people to see that even one individual with limited resources, and this is not like an impossible effort. It's difficult, but you can do that. Anyone can do that. So imagine if all that was supported by a bigger institution, a private corporate, if it give anything that will give people with that passion funding, and those people get together and communicate with each other. Imagine the projects and the goals that they can achieve that follow their dreams. So yeah, if one person with simple plan did that, imagine what other people get together with good amount of funding and resources can do.
Yes, hopefully. And this project was your university days, right? Are you planning on doing something now, since you are in Kuwait here and you have all the capabilities and accessibility with KFAS, with the University of Kuwait? Is there a new project coming for you here in Kuwait?
I would love to. If those institutions contacted me, I would love to help. That'd be I'll be very grateful, and it will be very delightful to do this. It will actually serve my local area, and I would like to influence people to do something better. And yes, I welcome this idea, and hopefully in the near future we'll do that. And many space agencies are opening here in the GCC, like in Kuwait and our neighboring countries. So the possibility of this happening is huge.
All right, definitely. And before we mentioned astronomy benefits on a personal level to a human being. How does it benefit the whole society when they contribute to astronomy, in your point of view?
All right, that's another good question. I think people will have, when they have more knowledge, they'll be more confident and more reliable. And if astronomy can help people do research together, it will open up so many doors. And right now, the time on the ground is lush for this. Like I said earlier, almost all the GCC countries, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, UAE, Emirat, they all have space agencies. They all have a Vision 30 or 35. Like something got to do with the next 10 years that they want to contribute to science. We're doing a lot of research with other countries, not just the local countries.
Yes.
So astronomy, from what I've seen, a lot of people have a lot of passion for astronomy, but they don't know where to go. I think this will benefit society. If you have the passion, you have the minds, you have the institution and the research and the facilities that you can do all that, and you have the whole world to help you with that. And I think that's something really important, and something good need to be flourished into the world to existence out of that. And again, it can start with small steps. Like we did like I always mention this, we did the Kuwait first satellite did by the university, which led to opening, it was a really good step to open the space agency. Saudi Arabia is putting a lot of funding in that research right now. So is UAE. Bahrain are trying to do, like they're welcoming startup satellite companies. Oman and Qatar, they are doing in-orbit surfacing. That's
yes.
basically like how would that help us? Astronomy can help, and robotic to make those things can happen.
Definitely, definitely, Engineer Ahmed. Such a pleasure. We can go on and on all about astronomy. Absolutely. And get all your insights here on Hala Kuwait. Thank you so much for joining us here and giving all your explanations and theories for our future. So you're most welcome. So dear viewers, let's all welcome Engineer Ahmed Alromaidheen, an astronomer and aerospace engineer, for being here with us on Hala Kuwait. So therefore we shall go on a report, dear viewers. Stay tuned.